welcome to BigCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is the Countdown to Two-A-Days series, our daily look at an area football team and the key questions that we're going to be answering in our August 16th preseason preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm here with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom, and tonight, Dan, we're talking about the Jim Ned Indians.
Yeah, and under Coach Matt Fanning, Jim Ned's become one of the premier programs in all the Big Country, and it looks like this year's going to be another good one for them. They returned 23 of their 35 lettermen from last year's 8-4 district championship team, including 8 offensive and 7 defensive starters. So a lot of talent back and obviously building a real tradition of success there. So it should be another good year in Jim Ned. They'll have obviously a few questions to answer, as everyone does, and we'll discuss a couple of those here in a few minutes.
All right, before we get started on our look at Jim Ned, we want to remind you YouTubers to please hit the subscribe button. And then after you hit the subscribe button, be sure and hit that little bell so that you get notifications on YouTube each and every time that we come up with a new podcast here at Big Country Preps. It'll help you to follow along with our Countdown to Two-A-Days series, which will examine one team each day, counting it down to the onset of Two-A-Days, which start on July 31st, and right around the corner.
Yep. But let's go ahead and jump into today's show and talk about Jim Ned. This is, like I said, a team with quite a bit of talent back from a team that won their really a good district last year. One big question they'll have is at the quarterback position. Obviously, Troy Duran did a really good job for them last year, and he's moved on, and in his place will be a young kid. They've got a junior named Gray Beasley, who's kind of the front runner for that job. Obviously, there'll be a competition, as there always is when you're replacing a starter there, but he looks like the guy most likely to win that. And to me, the question's just he's obviously being surrounded by an experienced team that's had a lot of success, good back, good line. Can he do what's necessary to kind of keep Jim Ned on the same level we've come to expect to see them? That to me is going to be a big key to this season.
All right, one question I would have, I mean, on paper, at least, it looks like Jim Ned's going to have a great running game. The Shipman kid is back, who rushed for over 1,000 yards. They've got 4 of their 5 offensive starters back on the offensive front. So will that be enough to buy time for a new young quarterback? You know, can they pound the rock a little bit and buy time for a youthful quarterback? And if that's the case, by the second half of the season, we're going to be looking at a pretty good ball club.
Yeah, and that's the part that's interesting, in that obviously being an O-line guy, Coach Matt Fanning always puts together good units, but this year they've got 4 of those 5 starters back. It should be a really strong one. Lost a really good player in Gage Stanaland, but anytime you're turning 4 starters, you expect a unit to be pretty good. For the final question, let's go over to the other side of the football. And to me, they got 7 starters back on defense, but I'm kind of wondering who will kind of emerge as the leaders of that unit. I think you look, Carter Lange on the line had a really big year last year, 9 sacks. He's a junior that they expect big things from. Trey Hicks, the linebacker position, almost 100 tackles. A kid that's really physical. I mean, they've got some really good players on that unit. I'm just kind of interested to see who will be those guys that really kind of lead that unit and kind of become, big country, all Big Country Preps type standouts, because there will be a few, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, they got some experience last year, but they're still relatively young defensively, and it's tough to find leaders in a young group of kids. So that's going to be a big key for them.
Yeah, that should be an interesting process for that group. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at their schedule. Very challenging as always. They open the season with a home game on October 25th against the defending Class 2A D1 state champion Holly Bearcats, before traveling to Holiday on September 1st. They host in what should be an outstanding Wall team on the 7th of September. Play Rockdale at Llano on the 15th, and then wrap up the non-district portion of their schedule on the 22nd of September with a road date at Eastland before having their open date and then starting district.
All right, district play begins on October 6th with a home date against Bowie. They are then at Clyde on the 13th of October. They host Breckenridge on the 20th. They are at Vernon on the 27th, and then they host Iowa Park on November the 2nd. And frankly, if they go into district healthy, I'm liking their chances.
Yeah, I think this will be a really interesting district. I think that there are several teams that people are expecting, to either improve or maintain what they had last year. Iowa Park had a great finish to last season. Breckenridge had a great start to last season. Those teams should both be good. Clyde's expecting to be better. I think this will be a fun district, but I'm with you. I think when you look at that, Jim Ned, just based on what they've done and what they've got back, will probably be considered the favorite.
All right. With that, it's about time to wrap up the countdown to two-a-days series for tonight, the Jim Ned Indians. But before we do that, we want to remind you, August 16th is the big day here at Big Country Preps. That's when we release our annual preseason preview here on the website. And that'll feature more than 40 team previews at the 11-man level. We will have a 6-man preview as well. We'll have more than 40 player features. We'll have stats. We'll have predictions. We'll have opinion pieces. We'll have video. We will have more material on Big Country football than any other media source in the entire state of Texas. Don't forget to join us, sign up, and we're going to get going August 16th.
In the meantime, thank you for joining us for this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Days series. And make sure you return tomorrow when we will be highlighting the Brock Eagles here at BigCountryPreps.com.